During the final years of finishing my high school education, I was estranged from my family in what is a transformative time in an individual's life. I was alone navigating the larger questions of life, such as what do I want to do and be? What is my purpose? And how do I pursue a career where my labor does not harm my community, those abroad, or the planet? Like my younger self, who once had to navigate these questions without the guidance of parents, I find that many of us feel similarly estranged from our political leaders. We do not feel that they are listening to us. They certainly do not seem to center our values or lived experiences in their decision making. They do not think about how their decisions today will impact the next 7 generations. All of this feels most apparent when I reflect on how we still have not heard from the Minister of Youth since our November 30th letter delivery. We've inherited a world with a housing crisis where we're lucky if we can afford a home, even with inherited generational wealth. A world where worker productivity has exponentially grown, but our wages have only stagnated. A world with proliferated loopholes on how corporations can circumvent our labor rights. A world with snowless winters in the Greater Toronto Area. We are a brave bunch to look at this bleak picture and still vehemently refuse to sell out. And one does not have to dig deep to find that those governing us are extremely out of touch with the political values, hopes, and dreams of the youth of this country. For me, it is common sense to invest the $1 billion to create a youth climate corps. Funding climate and labor initiatives such as a youth climate corps demonstrates to young people that politics is not just greenlighting senseless violence abroad, instead of death, destruction, and violence, all of which seem to be center stage in politics these days. I dream of a job training program that turns no one away, that trains us in the jobs of the future, so young people can do meaningful work in their own communities. A youth climate corps gives me hope for a future where young people can have access to union representation with green jobs so they can start families and potentially even own their own homes. For some, this sounds like we are asking for the bare minimum, but right now the structures and power are skewed against us. And I hope this campaign and movement is sowing the seeds to turn that tide.